Hi everyone. So you might think this is a bit of an odd video to make how emotions are likened to the need to go to the toilet. But the truth is, although we have loads of fancy words for emotions, thousands of them in fact, and across different languages, emotions in a generalized sense are energy from within our body that's trying to get us to notice something, trying to alert us to something and have us do something, typically to move towards something that's recognized as being good for us and good for our growth, or for us to be taking a step back and moving away from something that's maybe not good for our growth or even harmful to us. So simply put, that is what emotion's job is to do. It's to bring our conscious attention to something that's going on in the body that the body has detected, typically subconsciously, and then help us to take some action on it. The key is in that interplay between our emotions, our body, our subconscious, and our mind, our ability to make decisions and act, there is a relationship there. And this is one that you can see quite well if you look at the need to go to the toilet as an example. So when you need to go to the toilet, you're largely unaware of it up until the point where you need to go, and then you take action, you go find a toilet, job done, yeah? Very simple. The key here is when it comes to needing the toilet, everybody does it, everybody experiences that. But also as children, we are conditioned to recognize that feeling, what it means and what we need to do. And this is something that is not the case, unfortunately, for a lot of our other emotions, certainly those that develop slightly later through our childhood. They can take us by surprise, and actually for reasons of needing to stay safe or okay within our social grouping, we suppress emotions. We learn to suppress these emotions because we can't do anything with them. So by contrast to needing the toilet, we know what to do, we know how to act on it, it's very clear, we get the job done. The subconscious can then settle down because we've done what it needed us to do. However, when it comes to feelings of anger in particular and the need to assert our boundaries, what we might also know as our fight response, because we are social creatures, very often the circumstances we find ourselves angry in, it's not possible for us to use that anger to take action. So we have to do something different. So I want to sort of give this example because people typically get caught up in the words that we use to describe these emotions, but emotions overall are energy within our body. There's something that our body is trying to tell us to get us to take action, and typically it's one of two things. It's either getting us to move towards things that it recognises are good for us, good for our growth, good for our health and well-being, or to move away from things that are perhaps harmful to us or are going to hold us back. And whatever word you choose to put on it, it's falling into one of those two categories, broadly speaking. So when people come into therapy, typically they are either stuck in that they cannot feel their emotions, they feel somewhat numbed from them, or the emotions that they do feel, they just don't know how to read them. They've lost contact with their body because of perhaps years of being in a position where they weren't allowed to feel stuff. And actually, a big part of the process of healing is to bring people back into their body, and there's many ways that we do this, so that their mind doesn't have to do all the work all the time, doesn't have to try and figure out what's wrong. We can use our body and the wisdom we have within our body and our internal systems to help guide us back towards the path that leads us to growth. So I hope that's useful as a very simple way of just explaining emotions are energy. No matter what word you put on them, they are a form of energy that your body's trying to tell you something, to alert you to something, to get you to do something. That is all. We know it very well when it comes to quenching our thirst, using the toilet, other more complex things we struggle, but they're all really the same thing. It's a form of energy. It wants you to grow. It wants you to be well. It wants to move you away from harm. So when we tune back into this stuff, our body very magically helps us to get to the things that are good for us. I hope that's helpful. Thanks for watching.